Reading in Joshua chapter 6, now the gates of Jericho were tightly shut because the people were afraid of the Israelites. No one was allowed to go out or in. But the Lord said to Joshua, I have given you Jericho, its king, and all its strong warriors. You and your fighting men should march around the town once a day for 6 days. 7 priests will walk ahead of the ark, each carrying a ram's horn. On the 7th day, you are to march around the town 7 times, and the priests blowing the horns. When you hear the priests give one long blast on the ram's horns, have all the people shout as loud as they can. Then the walls of the town will collapse, and the people can charge straight into the town. So Joshua called together the priests and said, take up the ark of the Lord's covenant and assigned 7 priests to walk in front of it, each carrying a ram's horn. Then he gave orders to the people, march around the town, and the armed men led the way in front of the ark of the Lord. That's all I want to read right there. You know the story of Jericho and how the walls fell. I want you to see this, church. We've been talking about obedience, and right here, God gives a battle plan to Joshua that makes 0 sense to a warrior. The people in the city are already scared, and they know they're defeated. But God doesn't say, go and put your mighty guys in the front line and go and face them and knock down the gates and storm the city. God tells them to just march, that's all. Now, Joshua was a warrior, but Joshua was an obedient warrior. So when God said, march, he marched. And so the victory didn't come for 7 days. So, church, I just want us to see this once again. Men and women of God that are men and women of God are obedient to what God says. When God says march, march. When God says storm the gates, storm the gates. Church, we want to be the church that is obedient to what God says, the way God says it, in the time God says it. Let's be the church. Have an amazing day with him today and be obedient.